All right, Kimmy, the floor is yours.
That's technically hers, but.
This is mine. Get out of the way.
Okay. Today I will be discussing a brief introduction to auras. I will be discussing what auras are, the different colors your aura can manifest, the 7 planes of an aura, and how you can see your own aura. I even have a surprise picture at the end I will share of my own aura that I had taken professionally. Next. What is an aura? Auras are the distinctive atmosphere or quality that surrounds a person, a thing, or place. Anything alive has an aura. The different colors of the aura are believed to help provide insight to a person's emotional and spiritual well-being. Some people may call this a vibe, or that a person or thing may give off. But in a nutshell, an aura is referred to as the unseen spiritual energy that surrounds all living things. Next slide. Okay, to first go over auras. You can't go over auras unless you go over the chakras. Your aura consists, in rudimentary terms, of the 7 chakras. And within those chakras, each chakra corresponds to a different area or part of the body. The root chakra is located at the base of the spinal column and houses the fundamental issues of who you are, your home, career, manifestation, sexual energy, and your values. This chakra vibrates with the color red. It also signifies stability. Next. No, this one's going to be there for a while. This one's going to be there for a while because I'm going to go through each one. Okay, next comes the sacral chakra, which is in the lower abdomen. About right here. It contains the beginning energy of the emotional body, creativity, relationships, and sexual energy. This chakra also indicates your level of independence and realism. This chakra is associated with the color orange. The third chakra is the solar plexus chakra. This chakra is located a few inches above your belly button, about here. This chakra houses your personality, the personal power, identity, and emotion. It is the chakra that gives off who you are to yourself and to the world. This chakra is associated with creativity, curiosity, and optimism. This chakra is associated with the color yellow. The fourth chakra is the heart chakra. This chakra is located at the heart, as the name implies. This chakra is about love, not just for others, but how you also love yourself. It houses compassion and the energy of forgiveness. The colors for the heart chakra are pink and green. And that's also where the phrase green with envy comes in as well. The fifth chakra is the throat chakra. It is your means of expression, being you, saying what you need, and communication to yourself and to others. So if it's closed off, if it's weak, you might have a communication issue where you might need to speak up more. Where if it's dimmed, you need to speak up more. Or if it's bright and open, then maybe you need to speak a little less. Sorry, I lost my place. Having a strong throat chakra can indicate that you are intuitive and empathetic to others and those around you. It is associated with the color turquoise. The sixth chakra is the third eye chakra. It is located above your physical eyes in the center of the forehead. It represents your sense of vision of everything you desire to create or manifest. It is the seat of your intuition. Those with a strong third eye chakra tend to have strong psychic abilities and tend to be highly intuitive. This chakra is associated with the colors purple and violet, more specifically, the color indigo. If you ever heard of the term indigo children, this is where it is referring to. Children who have a strong third eye chakra, and children for adults for that matter, who possess strong psychic or intuitive tendencies. The seventh and final chakra is the crown chakra. The crown chakra is located above your head and vibrates the color white. It connects you to the divine and to the higher powers. It is also the color of understanding and understanding that we are all connected to each other in some way. Next one. The 7 aural planes. The aura consists of 7 auric layers known as bodies or planes, and each one represents something different. Think of them like the layers of the onion, with the middle being your physical body. The first plane is the physical plane, the plane that is closest to the physical body. It represents the physical body, the muscles, the tissues, the bones, etc. It is basically the bones of yourself. It connects you, it's connected to the root chakra, and it is a bluish gray in color. Easiest to see with the naked eye. Pulsates at 20 cycles per minute and is stronger in athletes and those who are very active. Weaker in those who lead a sedentary lifestyle or when immunity is compromised. The second plane is the emotional plane, second from the physical body. It represents emotions and feelings. Connected to the sacral chakra, can be all the colors of the rainbow, can be muddy colored during times of emotional stress. The state of the chakras can easily be determined from this layer. The third plane is the mental plane. Third from the physical body, represents thoughts, cognitive processes, and state of mind. It is bright yellow in color, connected to the solar plexus chakra. Often radiates the strongest around the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Stronger in those who engage in mental tasks or those who have an overactive mind. When engaging in a creative activity, color sparks can also be seen flowing from this layer. The fourth plane, which I kind of discussed this in my last presentation, is the aural plane. The astral plane, sorry. The astral plane. The fourth from the physical body. It represents where we form our astral cords with others. They can be pink or rosy in color and is connected to the heart chakra, hence its color. Becomes stronger through loving, intimate relationships, can be weaker during breakups or conflict with loved ones. The state of the chakra is also easily visible from this layer. The fifth plane is the ether layer. Fifth from the physical body, represents the entire blueprint of the body that exists on the physical plane. Includes everything you create on this physical level, including your identity, your personality, and overall energy. It is connected to the throat chakra. It can vary in color, and depending on the color, depends on based on that particular plane, whatever that color is that radiates out of it can give you an indication what's going on overall. Healed and made stronger by expressing your truth and knowing who you truly are. Like I stated before, people who have closed off throat chakras tend to be suppressing what they really think. They tend to tend to be the people that bottle everything up. And then all of a sudden, the throat chakra can't take it anymore, and then that's when they explode. And then all of a sudden, you'll see like sparks coming out of the throat chakra because it's finally all that energy that was closed up here is just bursting. It's basically a ticking time bomb. Yeah, but it's not the rainbow you want, especially if you're the receiving end of that rainbow.
Or like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Like if someone's in a bad mood, all of a sudden they just unleash on you, and you're just like, what the heck happened? I was like,
Where did that come from?
and you're just like, I'm just here. That's happening. The sixth plane is the celestial plane, the sixth from the physical body, connected to the third eye chakra. It carries a very strong and powerful vibration, represents the connection of the divine and all other beings, where unconditional love and feelings of oneness flow. It's pearly white in color. When strong, a person may have the ability to communicate with the spirit world and receive angelic messages, can be healed with unconditional love. So someone who doesn't feel loved, that's usually the main plane that usually is deeply affected. And you can tell just basically just viewing the aura or the chakras in between that are affected. And the seventh and final plane, which is the furthest from the body, is the causal plane. It's the furthest from the physical body, and it's about 2 to 3 feet out from here. So it's like, I always used to tell people that basically, if all of us here could actually, like, if our physical bodies were as hard and solid as our spiritual bodies, we'd all be bumping into each other, and we'd have no space. We'd have no space because if all of our chakras and all of our energies were, and all our planes were all visibly seen, we would all be bouncing into each other. And that's why I always tell people when people say, oh, you're in, like, I learned this, I took movement for the actor. One thing I learned about was the ether regent plane, was where you basically, you feel like when someone says you're invading my space, and you're like, I'm not even near you.
Yeah.
You're like, but there's this invisible plane that surrounds you, and you don't see it, but when someone gets a little bit too close to you, you're just like, okay, back up. You just did a little bit too much, and you're in my face. But you don't see that, but to nobody, you can't physically see that, but you feel uncomfortable because all of a sudden, that bubble that was around you, all of a sudden someone's crossed that boundary, and everybody's bubble is is different size. Everybody has a different, based on life experiences and stuff like that. Your bubble can be smaller or bigger, depending on how open your chakras are and how closed up. And, I used to go to, near my house, Spiritual Journey does Reiki classes. And, I remember one time they were doing this drumming healing, and she started doing it towards me, and it started making weird sounds out of the drum. And I'm looking, and she goes, yeah, you're really blocked. And I'm like, how do you figure that out? She goes, I don't know. She goes, I don't know that you're blocked until I start, working on you. And then I realize I can't, if I'm trying to heal you with this drum, and then all of a sudden it starts making weird noises, then I know, okay, I have to keep doing it until all of a sudden it stops making that weird noise. It is, I want to take him one day. I want to take John one day. But they only do it once a month right now. And it's never on a timetable. It never works for us. But it is, like I said, it's the furthest away from the body. It's about 2 to 3 feet away. It represents the feeling of being one with the universe. It holds all the information about your soul and previous lifetimes and past lives. And it vibrates at the highest frequency. So that's why most people, you can't see it, but you can feel when it's off. You can feel when someone's, vibrations are off, because you just go, you're like, someone can act so all just done fine. And, that's when fake it till you make it. But then usually there's somebody that really knows you, and they go, okay, you're faking it. Knock it off. I know what's going on with you. Like, you can feel it. It's like you can smile and go like that, but then you feel the chakras, and something's just, you feel their aura, and it's like, okay, I can't see your aura, but I can feel that there's something just not right where it belongs. So it's just one of those crazy things. that you don't even, most people don't even realize it. It's just you get like, it's like when you go in somewhere, you go, I just don't like this place. And you're just like, ooh, I don't know why it is, but I get a weird vibe. I get a weird feeling about this. And it's usually it's their aura, especially if someone used to live there. They call them spiritual imprints. Someone you could, even if you haven't lived there, like say you moved out of a place and you lived there for like 20 years, but then you moved out and moved somewhere else, the new person comes in, it has been noted that people go, my father, would go house shopping, and my dad would walk into a house and he'd go, oh, we're not moving here. And we would walk right up. My mom's like, why? And he goes, I don't like this place. I don't like this place. I can't tell you why I don't like this place. I just don't like this place. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. He goes, if something starts jumping out of the closet at me, I'm gonna hurt somebody. he's like, I don't know why, but he goes, I feel like there's a ghost here or something. And he goes, and it's those entities and those feelings that you get, that those vibes that you get, you just can't figure out what it is. And it's usually the imprint of someone's aura or someone's just their feeling. Like, and it doesn't even have to be like, oh, someone died here kind of feeling. Because a lot of people think, oh, I feel something like someone must die here. No, it doesn't mean that. It could be something, it could be something as simple as you were in a house for, like I said, 20 years, and then you moved out. Your imprint is still there because you were there so long that, like, it's like when someone passes away and all of a sudden you go around the house and you're like, they still feel like they're here. It's like you're like, it's like when I go to my grandparents' house at the end of the month, I'm gonna go there, and it feels weird for me because I'm like, I still feel like I'm gonna look around the corner and my grandparents are gonna be there. I feel like I'm gonna look around the corner, my grandpa's gonna be there, yelling about his, the violin. I haven't played his violin in years, and he still wants me to fix it. And I'm just like, and it's like those things where I feel like I'm gonna walk out the door and I'm gonna look in the garage and it's gonna feel odd knowing that he's not in it, but he feels like he's still there because his aura and his, imprint is still there. Anyway, the sixth, back to what I was saying, sorry to digress on that. It's connected to the crown chakra, which is what it vibrates the most. It is golden color and it rapidly pulsates. When strong, it gives you the ability to surrender to the path of the divine and can help increase, psychic abilities. Next slide. This is another, I know it's hard to see if you're not all the way at the computer, but it's basically a representation of all the planes and basically how they look and the different levels of the planes and the different colors of the vibrations of the planes. And next slide. That machine next to it, that is a photo lenses machine that actually will detect. I've actually used this machine. You actually put your hand on it like this, and it will detect through the feelings of your fingers. It will detect your psychic energies and how your chakras are presented at that moment. Because chakras are always pulsating and changing depending on your moods, and it's not just emotions. It could be like I stated with the 7 planes. It's always changing. The picture on the right is my own personal chakra. It was my own personal picture I had taken in 2019 at Spiritual Journey by a professional photographer. And at the time you could see that certain places you could see were clearly closed off, and then certain, like my third eye chakra at the time was very open. It was very open and very perceptive. That was also, and it also makes sense, think about it years later, because those are around the time I was having the dreams that I would meet John. And so they were very with that being very open, that opened myself up. and I didn't even realize it at the time, to psychic dreams and, just psychic things of that nature that I would never have known just by the naked eye. And there are also a few ways that you can see yours or someone else's aura. One example is to focus on your head and shoulders without moving your eyes. It's kind of hard, so I don't usually use this technique myself. Focus on the space around your head and your shoulders using your peripheral vision. The faint colors that emanate from them would be your aura. It's like when you see it's like when you're looking at your peripheral and you feel like something's walking past you. You see a color. Generally, it's your own aura that you're looking at, and it's not, a ghost. Sometimes it may be. Who knows? I don't know.
Scientifically, very well be.
Could be, but sometimes it could also be you just looking at yourself
Yeah.
in a weird way.
You see a little black going through and black is not one of those colors.
Well, in fact, there are actually 22 different aura colors. The first 7 I just mentioned are the 7 basic ones. You can have, there's the 7 basic ones, but then you've got the others that are the different hues in between those. It's kind of like color theory in a way, where you've got your primary colors, but then you've got your secondary and so on and so on and so forth. Like you can have so technically there are 1,001 different colors, but the first 7 are the most basic ones that people will look at, and if those are out of whack, and then there's an issue there. But if those are fine and you're still out of whack, then you might have to keep going a little bit further with your soul searching, in a way. In a nutshell, saying with soul searching. Another way to see an aura, but someone else's aura, is having the person sit or stand. Standing is kind of easier. And then you standing, and it's also preferred in the anatomical position. If nobody knows what the anatomical position is you stand just like this.
Mountain pose.
Basically, and just don't lock your knees because you'll pass out.
The airplane examine pose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just call it the anatomical position because that's the only way I know how to call it. And yeah, I said with the palms of the hand facing outwards and looking at the person through your peripheral vision and seeing the colors that come through. Another way is what I used to do in high school to my friends, and it used to freak them out, is have them stand with their back against a solid white wall. And then, don't look at them directly because you can't see anything there. Is if you look at them like this, but then look out of the corner of your eye. So that, because fun fact about eyes is you lose, as you grow, the vision you see out of deteriorates. Your peripheral rarely does not. That's why infants generally are known to see more colors after the black and white stage. Generally, they are able to see more colors as they start developing more colors because they don't have the eye damage from, outside sources damaging their eyes. So they're able to see. That's why people go, oh, I can see auras. And it's like, well, then you probably haven't had a whole lot of eye damage, to your irises. Because if you have a lot of eye damage, then you generally have a hard time seeing colors. And another one is, I never really tried this one, is rubbing your fingers together and then pulling them an inch apart and noting any other colors that you also see in the process. And rub your fingers like this. And you just do it like an inch apart. And then you kind of have to do it out of the peripheral, and also you feel it when you do it, you'll feel that kind of resistance. That's generally your aura, is what you're feeling. Is because if you rub it together and you pull it apart, you'll feel resistance in the middle. That's an energy field. It's the first time I tried it with my friend in Sweden, and I tried it and it freaked me out for a minute. I was like, what is that feeling? And he goes, that is an energy field. That is an energy field. You feel it when you move your finger around like this, it actually changes. You can do it with your fingertips, you can do it with your hands. Anything living has an energy field. So you can do it like this, and you can feel it. I used to do this as a child and I didn't even realize it. I used to do this where I would rub my hands together as a kid and just do this. And I liked doing this because it kind of felt like there was a ball in my hand and I could just kind of bounce it back and forth like wiggly. But yes, that is basically the end of my presentation. I know it was short, but it was short and sweet and very informative.